Might get another finger up your arse if you're lucky.
Yeah. At least I didn't have to pay for it.
See me?
No, you've gone off. I can hear you.
You're looking for the web. Yeah.
I'm looking to get back on. Where's it gone?
It's there somewhere because I can still hear you.
I know. Well. Turn that off. Turn that off. Right, there you are.
That's better.
Jeez. It's hard work with all this technology.
Like I say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I tried with Visa 5 times. It just wouldn't work, and it wasn't his fault. It was just his laptop wouldn't work.
Have you heard any more from him?
Not recently, no.
No. I wonder if he went over to Turkey.
No, I spoke to him.
Oh, right.
When did I speak to him? It was after someone told me he'd gone to Turkey, but he hasn't. He hadn't at the time, anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I left him alone.
Yeah, that's it. You don't know what to say, do you, sometimes?
Wasn't there another earthquake?
Yeah, I was hearing. Yeah, there were. I think there were 3, and then they've had like aftershocks and stuff on there. So,
fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Do you know what makes me laugh? Like, that's a genuine disaster.
Yeah,
and we should be helping them. And it's not to say that the Ukraine isn't also terrible, but the amount of fucking money we're sending to the Ukraine and every other country, we could give some of that to fucking Turkey. Like what? In Syria?
I think they have. I mean, there's you see a lot of people like it's like charity fundraising in it for it as well.
Yeah, it's charity. It's only charities that are doing it.
Yeah,
we're not. The governments aren't sending tens of billions. Do you know what I mean? Like they are to the Ukraine. Like it's not to say that's not a good cause, but fuck me, a couple of billion. If we're throwing billions around, just divert some of it and help them people.
What's a couple of billion?
Fuck all, according to our government and America's government. So we should be helping people if we can. It strikes me like it's not as politically worth it. Do you know what I mean? There's obviously something in helping Ukraine, and we should help them. But there's something in it. There's something else in that for the people who, for the government and the politicians that are pushing to send them money, and it's ultimately it'll be business down the road.
Yeah, you see loads of things on different social medias about it, don't you?
I only see it on social media because I don't watch the news. Yeah. So I said to my missus last night, so we watched a film, and I said, right, I'm going on TikTok now, see what's happening in the world. It's a terrible place. I was like, I want to see what's up with that Nicola Bulley case, because there's loads on TikTok about that, you know, like
conspiracies.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's bullshit, but I fucking love it. And I said, I eventually found one. And it was, this is terrible, by the way, because obviously someone's died, but the first one I found was, this video of where the body was removed. Is this Nicola's ghost? I was like, what the fuck? So that's the first one I come across. So that's what you're dealing with. People who think you can see a ghost.
Not only they found a body, then you find when you're in these WhatsApp groups, there's jokes and things going about. Who's thought even at the time to start coming out with all this?
Do you know what though? I talk about this a lot. So in a WhatsApp group with your mates, to me, as long as everybody knows each other, it's like being in a pub.
Yeah,
and you'll get sick jokes. You just will. If anybody shares outside of that group, they've broken a fucking code of like.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I'm sure I'd seen some on news yesterday about police are all getting done for a WhatsApp group out there. Yeah,
but they were sharing pictures of dead bodies and stuff on crime scenes, so that's pretty bad.
Well, Yeah, it's not normal behaviour, is it?
No, but yeah, I get loads of sick jokes and stuff, but it's my mates, it's enclosed,
Yeah,
and it's like that's your private group, and you say things that are wrong that you would never say in public, and it's a laugh, and it's just nobody's ever going to see it, and if it leaves that group, you've broken a fucking code.
yeah.
It's like
Freemasons.
well, yeah, it's like an unwritten rule. Usually, you'd be in the pub, which doesn't really happen anymore, and
Yeah, true.
someone would say something that isn't very PC. Everyone would laugh, and that's it. It's gone. They don't really mean it. They're not really a bad person. Nobody else heard it. It was just a laugh. But now, because it's WhatsApp groups,
it's there forever.
Exactly. So it's like it's still a little bit dangerous now to because you only have to get one thing, especially if you're already famous or something, and that's it. You're fucked. Your career's over, and you're like, oh, it was only meant for me and my mates and that all, but you said it.
Yeah.
So you're being cancelled. You've got no career now forever.
Yeah.
So it's fucked up, mate.
As well, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. What have you been in hospital for?
Well, yesterday.
Yeah, was it you?
Yeah. It was to do with over a week. I was working on a job and just noticed I wasn't peeing right. You know what I mean? As daft as it sounds. So I thought I better go to the doctors. Do you know what I mean? You look up. Your thing is you look on Google, don't you, and things like that. So you start worrying.
Your dick's going to drop off.
yeah, kind of thing. So I went to doctors, and the signs I had were like prostate cancer. So I had to have
joking?
No. So doctor examined me anyway, and everything were all right. But they do like a blood test as well, just to be safe. So I went and had that, and I come back with something raised. So I then, that's why I had to go get checked yesterday. So I went there to go see the doctor, and she examined me, fingers up ass again, and all that. Everything's all right. So, yeah, yeah.
So everything's all right.
Yeah, touch wood. I've just got to have another blood test in about a month's time.
Well, you might get another finger up your ass if you're lucky.
Yeah. At least I didn't have to pay for it.
Well, that's good news, mate, then.
Well, yeah, no news is good news in a sense.
Yeah. So what have you got? You just got to wait for some kind of...
I've got to go for another blood test in about a month's time.
It can't be nothing bad then if it's saying wait a month.
They reckon it might be some sort of infection or whatever, I don't know. I don't know.
It's nothing, mate, I bet you. You'd be grand. Well,
to be fair, I'm peeing all right now, and that's what I said to her. So,
really? So you went to the hospital, and now it's not even happening anymore?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But at the time, I think, fucking what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? I was like going for a pee, and then I thought, you were like a come empty my bladder, if you know what I mean.
Really?
I thought, what's going on here? So, yeah, I just, you Google signs, don't you? Then,
mate, every time you Google something, it says cancer, so don't Google stuff.
No.
Or something horrific. It always does, because like everything can be that. No matter what it says.
Yeah, there's plenty of different things. It was like that with COVID, though, wasn't it? Oh, how many different symptoms were the COVID?
Oh, actually, yeah. For a couple of years, everything was COVID, and
yeah, you can't get away. You can't get away with that excuse anymore. So, can you?
No, it's fucking crazy.
One of the lads at the job where I've been working, he went to go see his grandparents, and I think he said that they'd had COVID. So we went, oh no, you can't come in. We've got COVID, but everyone's like, they'll probably go in now. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind. We'll be all right.
A lot of people have gone that way now, haven't they? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter anymore. I think it definitely does, but it's the same as always. Like, if you're old or you've already got some kind of illness,
you don't hear about it though anymore, though, do you?
No, because the media stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
I said the other day, why didn't the media tell us how many people die anymore? Because people die every day.
Each day.
Yeah. It's just the news stopped telling us. They just decided to tell us every day this many people die. It's fucking stupid.
You know, the funny thing about that is, at the time when they were going on about COVID and recession, and every time I heard it on news or radio, and I thought, I wish they wouldn't say it, because the more people start talking about it, the more things start going round and round and round.
Mate, that's why I said before.
If people don't mention it, all that talk of a recession is kind of gone away again.
Well, no, there'll only be a recession when the media tells us there is one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's why I stopped watching the news a good few years ago now, because I was sick of it. Because they weren't really telling us anything. They were just like scaring everybody.
Yeah, they just try.
If you were that way inclined.
Yeah, they just try plant seeds in people's heads. Do you remember that with the fuel last year? Oh, there's a fuel shortage. There was a shortage in 2 petrol stations in country. The next thing, everyone's panic buying.
So that's where you get conspiracy theories from, because they're like, well, the media's on the same side as the big business.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they are. Of course they are. A lot of them are owned by the same people who own the big businesses, or by the big businesses themselves. But then I said, what about the BBC? Well, I don't know what. Maybe the BBC are just doing it for shock value, because they know more people will watch if they report on scary things or make things seem a lot worse than they actually are. So I just don't watch it at all. None of it.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot on news and all lately.
Yeah, it's the same as anything. If you look at social media a lot, which I do, I have to for work, but if you don't look at social media, I guarantee you, it depends what type of person you are, but if you don't look at social media, I guarantee you that you'll be less anxious and less stressed. Because there's a load of shit on there, and you're like, if you don't know about it, it's actually not happening. Because it's not affecting you in your real life.
Yeah, because you're not seeing it, are you?
No. But then if normal media, whatever it's called, mainstream media, people will watch that. So if they're doing the same thing, like fucking making things 10 times worse than they seem, and just everything's a disaster, they're going to stress people out and people get anxious. And you're right, the more they report and say, oh, there's going to be a recession, the more likelihood is that there will be one. Because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody keeps saying there's going to be one, and there will in the end.
Yeah, and then the thing is, people start saying it, and then people stop spending. Oh, I can't spend this.
Yeah, because they get worried.
It's going to be a recession. Yeah, we're not having this.
Yeah, so I don't watch it. Like I said before, the only things I find out are from social media. And I'm only on social media because of for work and stuff, so I'm picking all sorts of wild shit up.
Is work busy?
January was really busy,
So you're by surprise?
Yeah. You'd expect January to be slow, and it should be, but it wasn't. So what we'll do is, I don't do any introductions. If you just tell us what you do now, just briefly tell us what you do now. What's your day job?
Yeah, well, I'm a tiler. Floor and wall tiler. I just do tiling. I do get a lot of people ask me, "Oh, do you just do tiling?" Yeah, I just do tiling. Don't get involved in anything else. Stick to what you know is what I say.
Yeah, is it just you?
Yeah, just me at the moment. I've got a guy who helps me pretty much regularly all the time at the moment. I used to work with Steve when I worked at Andrews, when I worked before I went self-employed. So I've known Steve for a good number of years, so he's kind of teamed up with me.
So how long have you done it for?
I've been doing it since I was 16.
How long?
So that's
3 years.
No, not 3 years, is it? I wish I were 19 again, but no, 38 this time in June. So what's that? 22 years, something like that. 22 years this June, July.
Wow.
So yeah. I got set up with the CITB, from school and things. So
you did it straight from school?
Yeah, pretty much. You applied.
What's that, CITB?
It was it's construction industry training board, I think, but they like get you kind of an apprenticeship kind of thing. So you applied through there, an employer come forward and they went, do you want to go for a bit of a work experience day? So I said, yeah, I'll go down. Went down, enjoyed it. The lad who my first day was, we're doing the training. I've actually worked with him before. I know him quite well now. You know, and he worked at the other company where I worked before. This lad called Mark. So I think I had a really good relationship with him that day, and really, I thought, oh yeah, it looks all right. It looks like I could do it. You know, like, oh, it looks, you know, everyone thinks, oh, it looks easy. This, you know. I enjoyed.
What was it?
I don't know.
What was it? A company?
Yeah. Well, it was. All the guys who worked for that company were self-employed. So this Mark was self-employed as well, and I just, when I did get the job, I just went to their yard on a morning and then just went with one of the lads. So I had a really good day. I got home that night and I went, Mike, you can hate that. I says, yeah, I'd be willing to accept an apprenticeship thing. And I never even thought I'd have got one going. But I kind of thought, well, they must have one going because
you just said that anyway.
Hey, mate, I'll accept an apprenticeship then. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, he went, oh, do you want to go tomorrow? And I straight away I thought, oh, it sounds a bit dodgy. This go tomorrow. I've got to study. Believe me, I've got an exam. I've got an exam day after, so I've got to study. I thought I ain't doing work for now. Do you know what I mean? Cheap labour or not?
Yeah.
So a week or so had gone by. So, because he said, I'll have to speak to the accountant. So a week or so had gone by, and I thought, so I rang up and I went, I think I'd finished my exams at this point, and I might have had my last exam. And I went, hi, Mike, it's Matthew. I did that trial day last week. I'm ringing up, is there an apprenticeship going? He went, oh, yeah, we can offer you one. I went, all right, sound good. Well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to start, September or what? We can start next week if you want. And I thought, well, I had my last exam on the Wednesday and I started on the Monday. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, buzzing. I thought to myself, oh, I'll get in there early and I'll do, this was like July, 2nd of July I started. So I thought, I'll get in there early. I'll have 2 months worth of work experience, getting paid. And then when I go to college in September, I'll be in front, I'll be a bit more advanced. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, So I did that, and I didn't end up starting college after Christmas because the tutor had left. So it was good anyway, because obviously you learn more on site anyway than what you do at college, in a sense.
Yeah. So were you were planning on going college full time?
No, it would do a block release. It was. So I was going to college anyway. Yeah, I was going to college anyway. It's you started to question yourself, thinking, because when you're a kid, 16-year-old, you think, oh, you need that college, or you don't get the qualifications. And I thought, I need to go to college. And I thought, what's going on here? And obviously, I didn't hear it out until I don't even know. It must have been employer who heard something, because I suppose you've got no point of call as a 16-year-old to who's when you get meant to go or not. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember. It was a long time ago when I don't know if a letter had come through and this is, we'll let you know when we've got a tutor or what. So yeah, I'd gone. I enjoyed it. So I had to get a bus into Leeds and then I had to walk, well, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half on a morning to get to where their yard was, down at near Hamley. So you're talking a good, I don't know, half an hour walk. And that...
It's good, isn't it? When you're 16, you can go to school. So you can go to work. Because I had this, but you've got to get the fucking bus or a lift or ride your bike and like...
Yeah, it's that transition from being a school kid to being a young adult. And you're kind of buzzing in a way because you're like, oh, I've got a bit of... People are going to look at you different in a sense. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think kids these days have that mentality.
Well, no. And before you, it would have been different then. So, like, I was same as you. I went and got a job straight from school. But even then, people weren't. They were going college and stuff,
but to sixth form and things like that.
So people stay young for longer.
Yeah.
To the point now where I think people are staying. People in the 30s are classing themselves as young, like young people, and it's because they can't move out, and I think society kind of labels them as young people because they're like, well, we need to call them something so they don't kick off about not being able to afford their own house because it's hard for them now.
No, it is. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's very hard. I remember when I was at school, they were trying to bribe kids to go to stay on in sixth form with cans of pop and crisp. I remember me and my mate were like, I ain't staying here just for a can of pop and crisps. So I want to get a job. I want to get out there and do something. You know, some people up for school. We were never close to ever getting thrown out. We were good kids, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? But we were never like in isolation or all like that. Some people want to look at getting a job in a bank and an office, but we were never we were more outdoorsy people.
It's hard. I was the same, but I was a bit different because I went to that many different schools. I didn't have a chance to settle down, but I don't think, unless you're like really studious, it is hard. It's like, what the fuck do you... And then you get to 15 or 16, and unless you've got your head screwed on, which is not many, what do you do? Like, and even the ones that go to college, unless they've really got their head screwed on and they really know, and that'll be a small percentage, they don't even know what to do at college. They just choose anything.
I've had that a few times. My nephew was just been to college and he did this course for 2 years, come out, and he's not getting a job in that sector. He's actually applying for RAF. I think he's got into RAF actually. So
yeah. The only good thing about college, I think, is they're obviously mingling with other people, so it's good for that side of things to be social skills and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But if they do actually use it for learning, they're keeping the mind sharp. So if they're going to go to university and do something totally different again, which a lot of them do, it just keeps them sharp and it keeps the mind.
Yeah, that's true. That because there's no worse, is there?
How to study. Yeah. And to be honest, mate, when I was at uni, so I started university. I did university with my job, but then I left that job and then went to university full time way later on. So when I was there, I was just doing any work whatsoever that would pay me part time.
What did you?
And one of the jobs I
got.
What
did you study at uni?
Mechanical engineering the first time, and broadcast technology the second time.
Right.
So long. I left my first job, so I was an apprentice engineer, and I qualified and all the rest of it. And then I was just an engineer for a few years, and I just needed to leave. Like, I hated it. I was depressed. It was horrible, but I just did anything to leave the city. I just get away and do something totally different. And I was doing a lot of DJing and stuff at the time, so I saw this course, broadcast technology, radio, techie stuff. I was like, yeah, they'll do. So I did that in Liverpool. But one of the jobs I was doing part time, it was for the university actually, and what you were doing is contacting people that had graduated, and it was for a government survey, I think, asking them what they did for a job, asking them what they earned, all those kind of questions to see if they did anything that was related to what they did when they were at university, and what the average salary was in your first year, second year,
from leaving university.
Government. Yeah, and then I presume the government used those figures for something.
Probably to try and get the money back from all student loans.
I think it's just, I don't know. It may have been just the university. I'm sure it was government seeing what works and what doesn't. But yeah, the vast majority of them were doing jobs that were absolutely fuck all to do what they did at university. I'm talking like 80% of them. The only thing was it was in Liverpool, so there's a lot of Liverpool University itself there's a lot of medical. So most of them were doing medical jobs that you rang, but everybody that didn't do medical was not doing what they did at university as a job. They just don't. The thing that's good about it, obviously, it proves to whoever you go and work for that you can study and research and you got a good grade or whatever. And obviously, the social side of things, because you've left your home city and you're mingling with people, and it gives you those types of skills. But yeah, like I say, when someone's 16, they haven't got a fucking clue what they want to do at college.
Not unless you know. Not unless you know.
Anything.
I mean, with Tyler and I kind of fell into it. I always wanted to be a mechanic when I was younger, when I was a kid. Or a racing driver, but I was never going to be a racing driver, were I?
Why not? So were you like me? So when I left school, this at a young age, it's like, I talked about this before, but unless you've got really, really fucking supportive family, or you really know what you want to do, everybody just falls into things, like whatever's available, and you don't quit. Or so I was like you. I ended up doing something that in the end was making me depressed, but it took me 8 years to realise that I didn't want to do it anymore. I'd qualified and everything. I was good at it.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck me, why didn't someone ask me all these, like, figure out what I wanted to do 8 years ago?
Yeah. Well, my uncle mentioned to me, because his brother-in-law at the time was a tiler, they went, you should think about being a tiler. I might have been 14 or 15. I went, yeah, I'll have a look into it. And obviously I did the day, and I enjoyed it. And I thought, yeah, I like this. And you know what? I've not looked back since. I've loved it since. So brilliant. I'm one of the people. I'm hard to get out of stuff, if you know what I mean. I remember I did a paper down years ago, and I was sick of it, but I didn't want to jack it in. So that it was like
stubborn.
Yeah, like weekly news. It was. You had like 200 papers to deliver for £4.
And the advertiser, that was called round here.
Yeah, and in the end, I thought I ended up binning a lot of it. I didn't even end up delivering them in the end. But I couldn't quit. It was dodgy. I was like, I can't. I don't know. It was more embarrassing to ring up and say I don't want to do it. And you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do it for long. I mean, I didn't.
Did you only do it once a week?
It would like once a week. Well,
that's part time anyway.
You had to deliver it once a week, but there were like 250 papers with them and leaflets and that for £4.
That's nothing.
For £4, it wasn't a lot, was it?
No, I did. I was a paper boy, but I did morning before school, so you had to get up at like fucking 4 or 5 o'clock, go do your papers, and then after school as well.
Fucking hell.
In all fucking
weather, yeah.
You don't miss. And I did that for a good couple of years. I can't remember how long. And you got £12 a week.
Yeah, you're doing all right, actually. 12 quid a week.
12. That's fucking horrific, though. 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah, some of the days is a bit much, innit?
Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning.
If it were earning on a Thursday or a Friday, that would it. Because papers used to come sometimes on a Wednesday afternoon, but it were mainly Thursday, Friday. You did
fucking slave labour.
Yeah,
£12 a week.
If it were earning on a Thursday and a Friday, they're all going to get delivered. Well, maybe Saturday morning.
No, I was a good paper boy, and so £2 of that, right? What was it now? £2 of that 12 was a bonus.
Oh, what it?
For not making a mistake.
Right.
So if you deliver a paper wrong, you lose £2. So I used to get £12 a week. I used to spend £2 on sweets and save a tenner. It's the most money I ever had. It's the most money I ever had. I saved hundreds of fucking quid, honestly. And what?
Yeah, because sweets weren't as dear then either.
Well, no, I even remember what I used to buy. I remember like the things that I used to buy for £2. But I witnessed a burglary once. I didn't realise till after. So I was delivering someone's paper on a Sunday morning, and the doors were wide open, like, and I was like, and I was like, just chuck the paper on the floor, and I could hear people talking, but I didn't. I was only like 14, 15 at the time, 13 maybe.
Yeah.
And I didn't think till after when I dropped the paper on the floor because it was like an observer or something heavy. Everybody just stopped talking.
How did that?
Yeah, but I didn't notice it at the time. I didn't really notice that. Then the day
you're
after,
in your own world, aren't you?
The day after, the guy who owned the shop said, "Did you notice anything about number whatever it was?" I was like, "Don't know." He's like, "They got fucking burgled. They're on holiday." was let me think. I said, oh shit, yeah. And then I was worried because at the time there was something in the papers. A paperboy had been killed by someone.
All right.
It's like a famous story. I can't remember what it was at the time. And I don't think it was a burglar. It might have been. I can't remember. But it made me think after. Shit. Scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you realise, like, a 13-year-old paperboy. Do paperboys still exist? It's fucking dangerous. You're doing that, like, you're walking for miles.
Anymore, does it? I think
I don't know. I don't see them.
No.
It's slave labour, surely. If you think about it, you're getting fucking less than £1 every time you do the paper. This is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And it'd probably take you an hour or two.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's that many anymore. I haven't seen any, to be fair.
I don't know. There must be. I'm going to find out, actually.
Yeah. I mean, the age gap might have changed.
Yeah, the whole 30-year-old blokes now on minimum wage.
Minimum 16. You got to pay a minimum £6 odd an hour or something daft.
Yeah. I've got bit a couple of times by dogs.
Got
knocked off my fucking bike. All doing papers.
Yeah, the good stories though are the papers.
Hard work, mate. And then the best you can hope for is a bonus at Christmas.
So you were hoping to get a couple of extra quid off of people you delivered in them to.
Yeah, so you're getting 12 quid a week, and at Christmas you're really hoping to like gather about 100 quid or something, if you're lucky.
Yeah, like I say, I only used to get about a fiver, so...
Well, you only did one shift. You got paid more than me, mate.
Yeah, but there were 250 papers.
So? I used to get that many on a Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Like, your bag on a Sunday was ridiculous. Because you didn't have, like... You used to do the morning papers, and then, like the local paper in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You do that after school. But on a Sunday, it was just Sunday papers, and everybody had one then. And they're all heavy as well. So
because they all have TV times inside them, didn't they?
Yeah. Not easy, mate, I tell you. So, sorry, completely went off on one. So, what was it like? So you didn't like school, and you kind of knew...
School were all right. It was just I knew I wasn't going to stay on. I was never going to stay on at sixth form or anything like that.
Was it? And it was in Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds. Yeah, I went. In fact, I did like word processing or whatever they called it at school as one of the options. And I actually had an interview for a job doing something to do with like word processing.
Yeah.
And I kind of got accepted for that, and I got
word processing.
Yeah,
I remember it was called that one.
Word processing and
it's just because computer, like just typing basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, the old touch typing. I can still probably do it now. It's because
computers were still fairly new.
Yeah. Well, internet were new then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I got accepted to this, I don't know, office job. But as soon as I got accepted into the college, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then obviously I got accepted to do the tiling. So yeah, I was living my best life. And then I didn't get paid till after like 6 weeks. I'm thinking, at first I thought, I might just pack it in this because I'm not getting paid any money. And it seemed to take a while. And then when you get paid, you got a check. You're like, oh my God, I've waited 6 weeks to get paid and now I've got a check.
How much did you get paid?
I think I got about $650 a month off the top of my head. Something like that.
That's all right.
600, 650. Works out about $150 a week, I think, around about that.
That's good for 16.
Yeah,
apprentice.
Yeah, obviously I had omnibus first to pay out of that.
It's just to be clear, it's fucking shocking these days. But then I was getting 40 quid a week, I think, and a lot of people will say, "Yeah, I used to get 50 quid a week, 40 quid a week." So you were doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing so bad. So yeah, I used to get a bus into town and then a bus home, and then you probably have whatever. I don't know. I can't even think now how much it cost me bus fares, because I don't even know if I got a weekly rider or I used to pay whatever it was so much a day.
I'll have a guess. Right, it's about £2.50 for anywhere in the city all day.
Might have been
on a buzzabout. That's what it was called, a buzzabout.
But a day rider pass.
We're different in Leeds.
Yeah, and So it went all right, but like I say, I used to go there in the morning, and then on a night, whoever I'd gone with, I'd usually get dropped off back in town. So they were only that Mark who I did that work experience with, who dropped me somewhere near. So he lived a couple of miles away from where I lived, the village. But there were a guy called Dave, and he only lived 2 miles, but the other side. Although I'm sure he must have been able to go through my way. He never did. I always got dropped in town. Do you know what I mean? So like, just
do you know, it's like character building, isn't it? I talked to someone else about this. It is like character building, that is, because you're like being independent and doing things yourself. But it's also just blokes who you work for being twats. They got to give you a lift home.
Oh, they were
to kill them. I would never do that to him.
You know what? It was all right. It was sad. It seemed sound, but you know when you work with some people, you think he's just, I don't know, he's a bit of a wrong or something. Just he's not a full shilling, like, and it just, I don't know, just some of the things he used to do, like you'd be driving downhill and he'd just put it into neutral. Oh, I'm saving pennies. You're just like, you know, you don't really know much about driving, do you? 16-year-old, you think you're tight cunt. You know what I mean? But you know, the thing was all right. I'd go with, like, obviously I'd go with different people, but then I'd stop going with that Dave, actually. Got to like Christmas time, you know, there's a big rush on sites and stuff, and I don't know whether there were loads of patching or snagging to do on this one site, because it was all house bashing. I don't know if they'd run out of tiles or what have you, and we were all sat down having a stat, me, Mark, this other lad, and this day. And I must have said something a little bit cheeky, but I wasn't really cheeky as a kid. And he went, "What would you do?" He must have been pissed off. What would you do if I hit you? And I went, "What do you mean? What would I do if you had a fucking hit you back?" You know what I mean? Anyway, next thing, he got up, grabbed me back, scruff with the shoe. "Come on, let's have a fight." And another guy with pretty hand in him, and he like, I was about to whack him over the head with level. Do you know what I mean? And that was that then. But it all kicked off a week or so before that, because I'd gone with that day, and we were working on this housing site in Huddersfield, and I just nipped at Thunderbox to talk, and I'd called in, and Mark were working on a plot before that Dave's. I just called in to see him, you know, have a chat like you do. But yeah, like Mark, went, "Oh yeah, can you just give us a twang with these lines?" And yeah, sound great. So I give him a twang. We were literally 5-10 minutes. But it would have walked up to Thunderbox as well. Got back into the room where this Dave went, "Where have you been, you fat twat?" "What do you mean?" He went, "You never here when I was a teenager." I went, "But steady on." I says, "I been to the toilet like I told you." And I says, "I just called in to see Mark. I'll just give him a twang with lines." I says, "I ain't your apprentice. I'm here for the company. Do you know what I mean?" You're like, Anyway, so I'd gone with that Dave to that site. And Mark ended up taking me home, and that Dave didn't want out to do with me. He was funny with me ever since then.
What did you do to him? Nothing. He just didn't like it. I didn't
know, so that's what he'd done. And then it got to Christmas time, and that's when he kicked off with me. Do you know what I mean? So he was just a bit of the world.
Some people are just twats, aren't they? I used to get that. Yeah. Bullies, basically. So when you're 15 or 16, it doesn't matter, even if you are confident or handy.
It was funny because I bumped into that tile shop where I'd been working from years down the line, and he didn't know where to look. It must have been half expecting me to just lamp him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
probably deserved it. I had loads of that.
It deserved it, yeah. But I act that way. I act that kind of person.
There's always a fine line. I know apprentices get loads of shit, and it's like an initiation thing, really, and that's fine. Like all sorts of stuff was done to me, but it does go beyond sometimes, and it's just bullying. And when you're 15 or 16, you're like, no matter how streetwise you are, a 40-year-old, 50-year-old bloke's always going to have the upper hand on you, like experience-wise. So it's just bullying.
Well, there's other forms of bullying as well. I mean, obviously, we'll move on to where I worked after, and there were some people you'd work with there who were sound, and then there's others who were absolute cunts.
What was it?
Do you know what I mean?
So how long you were at the first place? You did all your apprenticeship?
I was literally at the first company for a year, and then I got to the end of the year, and then the gaffer Mike had said, we've got no work for you, you're laid off kind of thing. And I thought, but one of the lads who had worked were there, another lad. See, there were about 6 different subby lads, and they were all sound, apart from obviously that Dave. And he went, Andrews are looking for lads. I know. So I went, sound, Chris. And I rang them up, Andrews. So I went, I hear you're looking for lads. So they went, yeah. So I had an interview there. But where I actually lived in Leeds, there were quite a big time company called Dartons. And I'd rang them up because obviously I went to college at the time. I had 2 weeks left, I think, when I got laid off. So I finished it in my own time, or I had a week left. So I still finished my course for that year. And I knew that one of the apprentices who worked at this dance were actually jacking it and weren't going to carry on the year after. So I rang him up, but I couldn't get through to like the person I needed. So I went, hi, it's so-and-so, it's Matthew Taylor here. I says, I know you've got a lad who's backing it in at college. I says, but I'm actually after a job myself and I've just done a year at college. So in a sense, they wouldn't have lost a year in an apprentice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
how did that affect your apprenticeship? How long was your apprenticeship supposed to be? Like 4 years?
Only 2 years for tiling.
So
for MVQ level 2.
Okay.
So I'd done a year. So I'd gone to Andrews. I'd kind of had a formal interview with Tim. He gave me the job. There were two like contract managers, and so you've been Tim's gang or Harry's gang. So Tim had obviously an interview. I don't think he'd had the job long actually when he obviously set me on. So I got a job there, which were great because massive company. Do you know what I mean? You're going to learn loads. Obviously, I'd been used to house bashing. It was total different scale of work.
Yeah.
It was like going from working I don't know. Oh, if you put it in football terms, going from York City to Manchester United.
See, I thought you were going to say Stoke and Leeds then.
No.
Are you looking forward to playing Stoke again next year?
We'll see what happens.
It'd be good. We'll go to game.
It's not all dead and buried yet.
You won't be playing Stoke next year, mate, because we'll both get fucking relegated.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I was Stoke doing that. I had seen their league tables.
That division's mad. They're just above relegation, but not that far off playoffs.
Yeah.
The crap there at the moment, not great. They did well the other night.
A few wins either which way, you can soon pull out.
If you put three wins in a row in that division, you're in top 6, no matter where you are in the division. It's weird. But if you lose 3 in a row, you're struggling. They're all over the place, Stoke are. They're not consistent at all.
Yeah. So I've got my job, Andrews, and then so obviously I'd done a year, and when I got the job there, I went, am I be able to still go to college? And kind of said, yeah, but Andrews are a massive company, so if they were paying for CITB, it'd cost them quite a lot of money. But like I was saying earlier on, you learn more on site anyway, so it didn't really affect me. The only thing I was thinking was, I always visioned maybe even going abroad and working for a little bit, which has never happened, obviously. But I thought, you need your MVQ and your certificates to then you can take them with you wherever you go, can't you? Yeah. But actually, you just take your skill wherever you go. It doesn't matter if you've got a certificate or not. As long as you've got that skill, it wouldn't really ever matter. So then I worked at Andrews. I learnt my trades there with tiling and worked on seeing different things like marble and terrazzo and things like that. So just there were massive jobs, massive building sites. Just the variation just went from like working on house bashing sites where we're getting to work on a morning at 7:30, loading all lads out, and then going with one lad or another. You were going from working on house bashing sites. So the second job I wasn't working on at Andrews, we were working on a swimming pool. Well, it's like if I'd been working at a house bashing job, I'd never ever seen a swimming pool in my life worked on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can imagine you could go through, do a survey on tilers and say how many tilers have worked on swimming pools. They're probably 20%, maybe, I don't know. You know, if you did a grand scale or wanting 20 out of 100 tilers have worked on a swimming pool job.
Yeah. I get that from some lads who they start with the council, so they do an apprenticeship with the council, and then they go on their own and they learn more. The council give them the fundamentals, but when you work for the council, you just put in 6-inch tiles in kitchens. It's like then they go out on their own. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they go on their own, and the first job is someone, can you put me 60 by 120s? And they're like, oh fuck, never done that before. Yeah. But then they start learning then for real.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, that happened to me when I ended up self-employed. So Andrews a good 7 years in total, I think it was, around about that. I was, so how old were I this time? 17. So Andrews, and then I was on Andrews for about a year, and then I was badly. I was off work then for a little bit. So we were working nights. Obviously, you're working nights now. You know, you never even thought about working nights as a sailor before. You were working, these different companies, so, shopping malls and doing all sorts.
Is this still for Andrews or another company?
Yeah. So I've only ever worked for the first company, which were house bashing. They're no longer existing anyway now. And then I worked at Andrews.
And why were you off? And how long were you off for?
So what happened was I was working nights, and then I just felt a bit run down. And I thought, I went to doctors. And I went, I don't feel too, I feel a bit shit. And I said, actually, if it's because of working nights, what have you? She went, oh, well, we'll do you a blood test if you want. And I went, they must have thingied it. And usually I'd say no. And I went, yeah, go on, mate. Fucking big needle, I think, oh, fucking hell. And I got around that age, I'm thinking, oh, I'll have to be a man now. And so, just do it, Anyway, so they did this blood test. Then we get a phone call at like fucking 12 o'clock at night. But I didn't take it out. My sister took it, actually. I was living at home, and Dad, they went, obviously, the message I got was, you need to ring up doctors in the morning about some tests or something, grand doctors. So I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
What the fuck? They ring you at midnight and leave a message to ring them back the day after.
Yeah, so Jesus. I rings up doctors in the morning, and I'm like, I've had a phone call last night to ring up about some tests. They went, oh, well, we don't know now about it. So I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So I just wait on, we'll get doctors to ring you back. So I'm at home watching, obviously I've been working nights. I'm at home watching fucking Jeremy Kyle or whatever it was. I don't know. I'm like, oh, fucking what's going on here? And I know someone were up, and fucking shit myself thinking. Anyway, the doctor rings up and she goes, you need to go to St. James's and go on to ward the 10T, and they're just going to do some more tests and stuff. And, all right, yeah, so I'm fucking writing it all down. So take a book and some pyjamas just in case. I thought, well, solace, you know what I mean? So, but the thing is, I said to my mum, you're going to have to take us to hospital. So I went down with my mum and my sister, took us to hospital. And then I'm like, I'm getting it lift. I'm not even looking at where I'm going. Level 8 toward this. And if you stand and look at it, it told you. And then so goes in and they went, we're just making your room up, this side room up. Just go right in there now. So I walked up there, and I always remember this. I clocked for this young lass and this young lad, both bald. I thought, anyway, so I never even thought about out like that. And I thought to myself is, they're in hospital and they're watching bleeding hospital programmes here. I says, they must be off their head, do you know what I mean? Anyway, so they went, you went through to this side room. So I went side room, I went, oh, yeah. She went, yeah. She went, you know why you're here, don't you? And I went, no, just for some more tests. She went, all right. She went, well, we suspect you've got leukemia. And I'm like, oh, all right. I went, well, I says, is it curable? And she went, yeah. I went, oh, well, that's all right then. And then it just, honestly, that was my reaction. And I'm like, obviously, I've probably been crying at some point, but yeah, so I went off work with that for about 13 months, I think it was, intensive treatment and things, and then ended up back at work after about 13 months and just having one injection once a month and one tablets.
Bloody hell, mate. How old were you when they told you?
17, before I went 18.
Bloody hell.
I'd have been 18 in the June, it was April the 16th.
And you had to have treatment for over a year?
They do it like intensive blocks, so they give you these blocks of chemotherapy, and I think there were 3 or 4 blocks. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, you end up losing your hair, but there were no Facebook around like that, so I can't even remember, or don't really have many pictures.
Bloody hell.
You know, but obviously I remember being badly.
You were still living at home?
Yeah, still at home, yeah.
So, yeah. What did they say at work? Did they just were they alright
Well, what could they say? You can't sack someone for being poorly, can you?
You fucking can't, and they do. So if you're off for a year...
Yeah.
I know,
they were all right. I was just
an
apprentice. Yeah, no, they were being pretty sound. I mean, don't forget, I was only an apprentice. I don't forget, I was only off, I won't get paid by them after 6 weeks. So you get your statutory sick pay for 6 weeks, and then you get, then I was getting incapacity benefit. So I won't actually get paid by them.
So your work weren't that sound?
Really, well, I don't, it depends which way you look at it. Any company will only do what they need to do, really, won't they?
No. A good company will look after you and pay you for, I don't know, a year. They pay you. It's not like you're taking the piss, is it? Fuck me, mate. You're 17-year-old with leukemia.
No.
It's not a good company should pay you, and it's not acceptable. So just get sick pay and then incapacity benefit, and then come back when you're better. That's a load of bollocks, in my opinion.
They didn't say that, but I mean, anyway, it is what it is, and it's one of those things. While obviously I were off, I think I ended up doing my driving lessons and stuff like that. Ended up passing my driving test and stuff. So.
So then after 13 months...
Around about that, I think,
how
off
do you
the top
know,
of my head, yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about it, so are they like, right, you're better now?
What, the hospital?
The illness, is it just...
Yeah, it's like it's in your blood, it's your blood cells.
Yeah.
It's your white blood cells, which generally your blood cells grow, the fight infection and die off and then create new ones. Well, with leukemic cell or whichever, the fight infection, but they mutate, they don't die off, and they go from 2 to 4 to 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and they don't, you know what I mean? They just keep mutating, kind of thing. So it's.
And so, is it like once you're cured, are you cured, or have you always got something to deal with?
You could relapse, but obviously, I think you have to so long. Oh, there's been all sorts of complications with what I had. I mean, there were a time. There's a few stories. There were a time where my bloods were low and I had a bleed at the back of my eye. I'd woke up in the morning. You know when you wake up and you got sleep in your eyes. I'd woke up and rubbed my eyes. I'm like, I can't hardly see. Really blurred vision. And I'd had a bleed at the back of my eyes, and because my blood's low, so I were kind of partially sighted for a good few months.
Wow.
You know, like when you're watching TV, you can see TV clearly, can't you?
Yeah.
It was just completely blurred vision. I could have been left like that forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, I've had a few complications. It's like a central line what you have put in. I had a central line put in. It got blocked. I had to have that taken out. I've had another one put in. which obviously end when they took out the central line and it left like a clot. So I'm on lifetime warfarin. So I'm on warfarin all the time.
What's that?
It's a blood thinner.
Uh-huh.
So
you missed a year of like being a teenager as well, isn't it? Like going out and stuff.
I want the kid then anyway, because like I said, I've been working for nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
At this point, I got put on teenage ward, which were better because you're like not old enough to then take it on your own, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I like, you know, I obviously stay in hospital on my own and stuff like that for poorly, but really you I think because I was older, you manage things better, and you know when you can go out and when you can't go out. You know, if you're feeling a bit down, you know to look after yourself a little bit more, like a young kid will really know.
Yeah, that's mad, mate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 17, 18, working full time.
All your mates are going out holidays abroad and all that.
Yeah. I love Leeds as well. Leeds was my favourite place to go them days. Probably still is now, but I'm too old now. But where did I go? Back to basics.
Back to basics. Did you ever go to Creation? Creation had opened up about time we.
So I think the Mint Club. So this is you're a little bit younger than me. So the Mint Club was where Back to Basics was when I used to go. I used to go there all the fucking time. I loved it. And then I think it moved to that Creation, and that was like a modern club, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah.
But yeah, it moved to there, and I don't think I went there many times. I definitely went though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Leeds, mate.
Yeah, well, we're a good night out. Like I say, I won't say I might have gone out still, but yeah, you're always like paranoid. I don't want to, if anyone had a cold and all that, because your immune system's low. Yeah. It was just one of them, really.
Did you have to do anything for COVID then? Do you have to?
No, I didn't. I don't not come from. I think because obviously being off treatment 20 years now, your immune system comes back to kind of normal, I think.
Sound. Well, that's good.
But I don't get sent things for flu jabs, but I've never had a flu jab.
No.
I've never needed one. I've never really gone for it, really.
Yeah. Bloody hell. It's a good story, mate.
Well, it is. You can only deal cards you dealt, can't you?
Yeah, and then you went back to work.
I went back to work. I think it kind of shaped me as a person, I think, going through that.
Yeah.
As daft as it sounds, it just makes you think about things totally differently.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So had you finished your apprenticeship by then?
No, not really. I'd, 17. Other companies you might have done, you might have been out and about and doing a bit more, but where I was at the time, you always got seen as a lad, didn't you? Obviously. What I'd have been there, I must have been there a year, so that'd have been 2 years up. But I wouldn't have said I would have. You're ready for tiling at that point anyway. You know what I mean? You're always still learning.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I think it took me a while to get back on my feet, after obviously your body's gone through a thing. You know what I mean? I still might not be back to normal yet.
Definitely not.
But, because it's not 2 for 6, you see. So, so I come back to work and then you just back work doing jobs, and then I would go sometimes on a Wednesday, depends how it fell for the day room, where they test your bloods, and then once every 3 months you'd have a lumbar puncture test and a bone marrow test. So I'd probably.
How long did that go on for? So
the total treatment were 3 years, 3 months.
Wow.
And it finished the actual 21 hour when it finished. Like a 21-year-old. It was like literally after my birthday. My birthday I had like my 21st birthday in hospital, I think it was. Because I must have had I can't think of it. I must have had an infection. So if That's one thing you didn't want to get if you're on treatment. If you get an infection, you're like, I've got a week in hospital, basically on IV drips and this and that. But I'd be in hospital, I'd be bored, and so I'd just be chatting. This is me. Do you know what I mean? Just talking like we're talking now, because we're chatting more like pals, more than who else.
Yeah.
So
it is a weird way to spend those 3 years, because they're 18 to 21. They're important 3 years, they are.
Yeah. I still live my life in between, don't worry about that.
You get yourself out clubbing.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of that. Don't you worry about that.
And then, so you went back work.
I think it's funny, because I was speaking to my mate's dad, and he went, when you were poorly, you were like a magnet for all these birds. They just come cling to you, and you just had that much confidence. I think it's probably I just didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Good terms.
Fair play, mate. So then you went back to work for Andrews. Yeah, but how long were you there?
In total, after I was there about 7 years in total. I think it was 2008. I think when that recession came about.
Oh wow! Yeah. So everyone's got their story. Yeah. So 2008.
I'd gone. Me and my wife. Now we'd just not been going out that long there, a year or so. We'd gone on holiday in September to Egypt. First time I've ever been abroad. Gone on holiday to Egypt. Come back after a week. I don't think there were any work for the first week back. And then my last job for them were at Pickering Station over in Malton, Pickering, that way. So I worked there. And then once that job was done, me and the lad who we were working with had signed Cottage George. We were both laid off. There were no else for us. Because we want, I don't know what you'd call it, flavour of month or whichever. People have the favourites, don't they? So, if you're not favourite month, so...
Same everywhere, mate. Yeah. Same in all businesses. Doesn't matter how good you are or anything like that.
So I went off then from September all the way up to Christmas into January, February, and I think February... Because I'm ringing up every week here on a Friday going, Tim, is it out for us this week, mate? Is it out? No, there's no. So, but I knew, it pisses me off a little bit actually, I knew they had subcontractors working for them. So I'm on books, laid off, having to go sign on a job centre to get paid some money after. So after, I think you got laid off for a week, innit, to go sign on basically. I had to go sign on.
Yeah.
So when I did that, then I think it was January, February, it come round and we've got out for you, and right, we're gonna have to make you redundant. I had a union guy or whatever. I spoke to him and I said, they've got subbies working for them. I took him in, but them union guys, they're not worth a wank. They're shite. They just basically agree with whatever they say, don't they? So
depends, doesn't it? It depends how good they are. They can be good.
Yeah,
they should be good.
Yeah, if you did ambulance and fire service and places like that,
it depends, doesn't it? Different union. What was mine? Mine was GMB.
Yeah.
I never used them, so I don't know how good they were, but they should be looking after you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's what it is. I don't know how it works with smaller companies, but anyway, so I got made redundant. Then he says, we've got no work for you, so we're going to have to make your place redundant. So right, sound. So, and it wasn't like I was the last one in, last one out. People had been employed after me, but it must have just been luck of the job. To be fair, it worked out better for me because I was at a point there where I wasn't really getting given any jobs to go work on, really, on my own and things. So then a pal of mine had left the tiling industry to go work doing something totally different, and where he worked, doing subcontracting, doing some tiling for this bathroom company, he'd mentioned that I were obviously out of work. So Mike, this guy called Mike at this bathroom shop, rang me up and says, we knew each other here, we'd known each other for years from pub. So I went, you might be able to do a bit of tiling for us. I went, yeah. He went, "Can I just ask why you're not working there anymore?" I went, "Well, I got very redundant." So I did this one bathroom for him. And I went, "Do you want to go self-employed now?" He went, No, just do this. We'll sort out that later on, about getting you paid and stuff. So I did this bathroom in Garforth, but near where I lived. And I just, obviously, I just did a nice job of it, and they went, "Here, wait, come round," and had a look. And, basically he could see I could be trusted to do work for him. So he went, yeah, we can give you some more work. So I then went self-employed from that because I was always going to have something to do, as in they'd have a bathroom maybe, even if it like once every 2 weeks, I'd have someone coming in, which is obviously more than what you get for signing on and things. Then from that, I then might have advertised. I can't really remember now because there were no real Facebook pages are out straight away, were there? So, and then I picked up more work from that. So, and then I just did various different things then. And so I was doing work for them, subcontracting, and then I might have done a bit of subcontracting on agencies and, just floated about and just to do other things until you just get more well known. Ended up subcontracting for other people doing their tiling.
Yeah. So, did you advertise much? Because I know you're not sure to work these days.
Early days, a little bit. There were like a On Your Doorstep magazine. I might have been in that for a little bit, and like it was just like the Facebook page is free, isn't it? And you've got like with a Facebook page, you've kind of got a portfolio of your work, so people can see, can't they? Because you've always had that from people. When you go around with a load of pictures, how do I know you've done that work? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get that nowadays because it's like, look, I mean, bleeding video, doing slow-mos and stuff.
I've said this loads of times. So even when it was just Facebook and photos, people could steal photos then and they still do now.
Yeah.
They steal other people's work. But I said this to loads of different tilers now, and not just tilers, trades in general. If you want to prove, and I'm seeing this happen. I'm not suggesting people should do this. This is what I'm seeing happen. So they're proving their reputation, they're creating their own reputation by making videos of their work and then either talking over them or explaining what they did. So it's clearly their work.
Yeah.
They're not stealing it from anywhere. And what's happening is customers, they're asking, so they see what they've done and they're asking for them and they're waiting for them,
right?
Because of the reputation that they've seen online. And they were like, "No, I'm waiting for Matthew, and because I want the bathroom to look like what I saw on TikTok or wherever, whatever." So when people say, like, "How do you know that Tyler's not going to be a cowboy?"
Yeah.
And there's various things you can do. None of them work from what I've seen. No organisation, no legislation, fuck all, because cowboys still get loads of work. But the one thing that I've seen working is Tyler's doing it for themselves, like creating their own reputation, and then customers actually saying, "I saw him, I saw what he did, and he explained, and he's got a good reputation on social media, so I'm going to follow him for a bit."
Yeah, but
and that's how Tyler's are getting the work.
Yeah, I've had that a few. In fact, I had a phone call like that today. Like you just said, I have actually been to see this lad who rang me today years ago about a kitchen floor, but he said something had happened at the time anyway. But he went, "I definitely want you to do my bathroom." He says, "We'll wait for you and that." And you're like, "All right, cheers." So yeah, it does work.
That's what I mean. Yeah, definitely works more than anything. There's no real organisation or badge you can wear that proves, "Oh, look, I'm really good." Do you know what I mean? Like plumbers have to be
Corgi and gas safe,
or whatever.
Yeah.
There is none of that for tilers.
No.
So like I say, they do it themselves on social media. I've seen it more and more and more, and I think TikTok more than anything.
Yeah,
because it's more personal.
I think in America they have to have a license or something, don't they? They have to pass some sort of thing.
I asked. I think it depends on the state.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think that Kyle said the state that he was in, there's a test that you have to pass. Oh, no, sorry. First of all, you have to be working for 2 years before you can be a contractor on your own. But these days, you can just lie. Right. Say, yeah, I've been working. They don't really check.
Yeah.
And there is a test. He says there is a test, but you don't have to do it. And it's really hard.
Right.
And it's like, and it involves not just tiles, it's all kind of flooring related stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it.
Right.
And what were his 2 states? Is Washington, I think, and Texas, maybe. I can't remember what his states were, but it's different by state. But I thought that because I was going to ask him and say, is legislation better over there? And actually, it's not.
Seems to be similar. Seems to be sometimes with the Americans, they don't just do tiling; they seem to do the full shebang.
Contracting.
Yeah.
Contracting.
Yeah, just the contract. Yeah.
There's tile guys that
specifically. Yeah, I suppose they will do what.
But yeah, it's the same as over here. Cowboys can get work, and it's hard to know if he's going to be a cowboy or not until he's fucked up your bathroom.
Yeah, and you've paid him a load of dough.
Yeah, and he wants his 10 grand or whatever, same amount as the top tiler would charge you.
Yeah. Well, generally, what's happened is that they're already coming out of, so they've already got the money out of the people.
Yeah, and they don't care. So it's like, and that's what I mean. They could get every bit of approval or badge or fucking organisation that any tiler can join. Those cowboys can join as well.
Yeah.
So then they can say, "Oh, look, I've got this, I've got that badge, and I'm in this organisation." But anyone can fucking join. There's nothing odd about it.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about social media.
Yeah.
You're proving to everyone, look, this is my work and I am this good. And actually, you're putting your name out there. So if you did do something, you've got 200,000, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of. Yeah. If you did something like a cowboy, you'd be called out big time because you've put your name out there.
I think that's
vulnerable.
That's the big difference in it. You know? There's a lot of people. I think if you see someone with a face to their page or the name, you kind of should be kind of gathering what they're kind of like.
And they can't afford to be give poor customer service.
You know, one bad review takes out 20 good ones.
Yeah, you'll get bad reviews, obviously, and think you'll always will, because some people just like giving bad reviews. But what I mean is, you can't afford to give poor customer service like a cowboy, because he'll keep changing his business name and fucking moving to one place and another. You, as a tiler with, say, 100,000 followers on a specific social media, you can't afford to do that, because that's it. You've lost it. Then you lose that altogether. You can't change your name. You can't pretend you're somebody else. You can't move cities.
Right.
Because that
can't have a face transplant, can you?
Yeah. You've got your own reputation to worry about now.
Yeah.
Everyone can see it. You haven't got, like, if I was a tiler in Stoke and I ripped some people off, and I'm saying this because I know someone who has, and I ripped a load of people off for thousands of pounds, and I think 14 people are chasing this bloke.
Yeah, I think
14 people were chasing me. He's just moved to another city.
Yeah,
he's doing work in another city.
I heard that on your other podcast, actually.
Yeah, he's just moved. So, and I know where he is, and I know his business, and I see his adverts. He's changed his business name. Never shows his face. No one really knows what his name is.
Yeah,
and he's getting work in another city now. That's plenty of it as well.
Because they don't have their name; they just have their name of whatever, and it's like, oh, we'll go with that. Because obviously, if they haven't got, my mind's Matthew Taylor Tiling Services. If they've got, like, I don't know, Premier or whatever kind of name they've got, they'll sound like a big company. Oh, these sound like they'll go do a good job.
Yeah, you can have your company name, but like what a lot of the lads are doing, they're using themselves to the social media as them. Do you know what I mean? It's not faceless. There's nothing hidden behind a company name.
Yeah.
But this bloke, he's literally getting done for fraud by 14 different people for fucking...
Oh, is he?
God knows how much money. But he's in another city making loads of money from unsuspecting people who don't know him.
Yeah.
If they found his name and Googled it, you'd find him.
Yeah, it's funny. To be fair, there's tilers near me local, and that people have had complaints about him, and same again. But I always see them advertised, and they're always sponsored. So obviously, they must be paying to get these leads.
Yeah, because that works. That's what they know, and this guy knows.
It's kind of chancing it, because if people don't look at their reviews, they just ring them up for a quote.
Yeah, because
they won't know.
What they do is
different.
They'll either use an old bathroom that they did that was a good job, or they'll steal someone else's pictures or steal someone else's video, and they know that they've only got to do one Facebook promoted advert that'll get to 200,000 people. 99% of those people don't know who he is. They don't know that the bathroom is showing isn't actually his, or he did it 10 years ago or whatever. And then he gets 5 or 10 jobs out of that. And when he's finished those 5 or 10 jobs, he just does another advert with another fucking picture of something. And every time he gets a job, he's not even doing it, he's subbing it out.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's the dodgiest fucking bloke I've ever known.
It's funny, because a lad who'd done some work for me, who wasn't great Thailand anyway, he wasn't even snagging his work. So if someone who's not great snagging their work, you can imagine how good they were.
Yeah. So when did you actually go on your own?
Well, in fact, it's funny, because I called in up at the New Andrews today, way back, because doing some work for these developers who I do work for, and they've got an account there. And the actual guy who's in charge this Dave, who's main guy there, and he actually said that today. How long is it since you've been left? And I went, been left since you got rid of me, Dave. And I was trying to think back then, because I always kind of gauge it on my eldest lad. So I'm thinking, well, he's 12 in July, and I was self-employed when I had him, and then he would have for a couple of years. So I was thinking, well, it's got to be 13, 14, 15 years.
Yeah, and is it just you?
I think it is now, but like I say, my mate Steve works with me a lot.
How do you work it with other trades?
As in,
have you got any long time partners or people you always work with, bathrooms and kitchens and plasterers or what have you?
There's another plumber who I've done quite a bit of tiling for, but he doesn't always get bathrooms anymore, because I think that they can do quite well off of gas boilers, can't they, and stuff.
Yeah.
So unless he's using somebody else, but that's up to him, because he always moans that I'm too expensive sometimes. Well,
he's using someone else, mate, who's cheaper.
He might be, but I think to be fair, when I've spoken to him before, they have regretted it. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't offer the same service. They're not going to offer you the same service because.
Yeah. Once you find someone who's good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the money too much, unless they're fucking grossly expensive, and I doubt you that much more than the other guy. If you've got someone who's good and you can trust, that's worth it. It's worth the extra, whatever it's costing.
To be fair, I probably give him more work than I get from him anyway.
Yeah. So we talked about this the other day, right? So, and I see this quite a lot. So when trades talk about other trades, and I see it quite a lot because I see it a lot of social. I don't live on social media, but I have to look at it for my job. So I see a lot of trades on social media, and a lot of the time, you'll see trades, and every trade does it. So no trade is the king of this little fucking merry-go-round of this trade doesn't like that trade because it leaves the wall.
Yeah.
This trade doesn't like that trade because he doesn't tidy up after himself. This trade moans about that trade, and it's like a circle, and it's gone from banter, which is fine. Obviously, we're going to take the piss out of each other, of course we are. But then I think it's gone a bit too far now into trades genuinely thinking that they're the best trade.
Yeah.
You see it quite a lot, and it's playful sometimes, and that's fine. But I think it's got to the point now where people need to just fucking chill out. Like if you've got
you get too many penny Madonnas on site, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's
Tyler's can be worse because I know someone they'll condemn it. I remember I've been working on some stuff before, and Steve's quite a good bloke actually because he's pretty chilled out. I'm chilled out, so we're pretty much cut from the same cloth. And you do something, you'd be like, yeah, you're like, I'll get over it because at the end of the day, if you don't get over it, you're not going to earn any money that day.
Yeah,
half the time.
the stuff that you work on,
for it?
You're always going to come across, because that's why you do the job, because it's not the same thing every day. That's why you enjoy it. If you did a job that was the same thing every day, you'd be depressed, because you're not that type of person. You lie.
I don't think I could do council tiling. I know it's tiling, but when it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even house bashing, I don't think I could. I won't be quick enough to do it anyway, because I've got to throw it up them lads.
So I always say this, right? So a lot of tilers, they're artists. They do things that are different. They have to work things out. They've got an engineering mind, because they have to work out all sorts of shit on the fly. So they're going to see things different every day, and that's great. But also because of that, they're going to run into problems every day.
Yeah.
And the good guys that I speak to, they don't even raise it as a problem. They just sort of do it.
Just get on with it. Yeah. Just get on with it.
So, but what you see a lot of on social media is, I'll use a tiler type one as an example, but I'm not particularly having to go at tilers. They'll say like the wall's not flush, and it might not be. And whoever's prepped it before you was crap.
Yeah.
But then, so they'll keep moaning, and they'll have the same complaint all the time. So my question, the reason I asked the question is, if you can find someone, say a plasterer or a chippy or whoever's doing the prep before you, if you can work with him and talk to him and say, listen, what you need to do for a tiler, and it'll make the job better and better for the customer, and the tiler won't moan at you and the tiler won't kick off. And then just explain to him, and I bet you £1,000,000, a lot of them will say, oh yeah, I never knew that. I'll do that next time. A lot of them will be won't care.
Yeah.
Some of them won't care, but loads of them will listen to you and say, oh yeah, and then the next time they need a tiler, they might ring you because they know your sound. Right, you're not going to say to the customer, fuck me, who have you had do these walls? They're a moron. Because that happens a lot. Each trade's slagging off the one that came before them. Whereas if they all just spoke to each other and helped each other out,
and then to be fair, saying that, but we are quite like that when we're doing work for these developers, because it's the same blokes. So it's not, so you've already got a reputation with them, a relationship, but a lot of the time you got like you say, you say to plaster, you know what's going on here? And they get like fucking joiner, mate. And it is literally the joiner. And then you speak to joiner. I mean, it's pretty funny where I'm doing some work, because they've all got nicknames. So like, you speak to joiner called Spike, and his mate's called Snake. That's the nicknames generally. And then these two old guys,
fucking hell, what is it? Lost Boys.
I don't honestly know. These two lads, they're in the 50s or something, but they're both pals. They've been pals for years. So it's quite a bit of a lot of work's up at like Harrogate End, but like a lot of the trades come from like Cleckheaton and places like that, so they're travelling in. So they know the crack, and obviously they know me quite well, and I know them quite well. So, but they do know, and I say to that Spiker, oh, Snake's better joiner. And he went, it's not about being best, it's about earning most money. But they don't earn out on price anyway, so they're on pretty much an hourly rate or a day rate. So you think, just make it right, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. The way I see it is, and I'm not working with trades every day, so I might be talking a load of bollocks, and somebody might tell me I'm wrong, but if you work together and explain to people, and then you end up doing a lot of your work with the same group of lads because they recommend you and you recommend them, you're actually making your own life easier as well. Because if you can spend time out of your day making a video complaining about the previous trade, you're stressing yourself out. It's not good for you. So, but if you just speak to that guy or whoever it was before you and say, listen, next time, and he might be a knobhead and he might tell you fuck off, but he might be sound.
To be fair,
you might end up working together more.
We're talking about this at the moment, but they've got new plumbers at this where we're doing some work for these developers, and they are too rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? You go in and it's like they must be trying to throw it in on price, and I don't like on the renovation stuff. We don't work for them on a price. We just do it hourly rate because nothing's ever right. Yeah, I've spoken to him. I was like, We went to this site on Friday when tiles were turning up. So we've loaded out and got everything ready and things. And then it's like, none of the rooms are even plastered out yet. So the ceilings aren't plastered out, but they're all boarded. So it's like, I've been put back on a job a couple of weeks, and it's like, I can't put out back, and it's getting done. Whatever's not done, we'll have to come back and do it. But definitely not the right way around. Because I feel sorry for plastering out. Because he's got a skim next to our tiling. You know what they're like, don't you? You know it's going to get. You know it's going to get a bit blathered. But.
Yeah. I think it's developed from, and it's fine, by the way. So it's that kind of job where there's a lot of piss taking that goes on. That's fine, great, and like the apprentice gets his initiation and all that, and it's all blokey stuff. But I think it goes a bit too far sometimes, and then people really start thinking that they actually are better than other people. And I think that's where it comes from. Like, I'm fucking brilliant at what I do, and the person that was before me is shit. And you're saying that to the customer. You're like,
no, yeah, I know what you mean.
Just needs a bit more professionalism.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's sound, to be fair, working for them developers. I mean, like you say, look, they haven't even stuck down the trays right, but we know, but we've sorted it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're not. Well, that's up to the foreman then to say to plumbers when they're back, right, you need to sort this out, because we did it on the site before.
Charge them. They won't do it again if you fucking charge them.
That's up to them to sort out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's
if they're not going to listen. But anyway, that's just something I'll probably ask a few people.
Corners, isn't it? It's just cutting corners, isn't it? It's not, yeah, exactly.
If they're going in and getting paid a certain amount, they're like, oh, fuck this.
We'll just stick it
with anything. Yeah.
Yeah, stick it with anything.
Yeah. There's no pride. They shouldn't be doing the job, to be honest. There's no pride in what they do.
No. And especially that, it's like kind of house bashing, but it's not, because it's like a refurb, but it's
still
like...
have pride, though, even if you're doing house bashing.
Yeah. But, I mean, it just, you know, you look at it and you go, it looks rough. It looks like they've just rushed it, you know. They've probably gone there and gone, right, well, 3 of us will go there today, we'll smash it out in there and whatever, and it's like, yeah, but it's not right, is it?
No,
it just
if you plan it right and do it right, you do it just as quick.
Yeah.
But there's no planning, you're just turning up.
Well,
so social media wise, you run a Facebook group, an Instagram.
Well, the Facebook group kind of runs itself. I don't really try to get involved.
You set
too
it
much.
up though.
I've set it up. Yeah, set it up.
And that's Tyler's World.
Tyler's World. Yeah.
Why did you start it? I'm interested.
At the time, there were a lot of things going on another big group one that.
Don't mention it, but don't mention it.
No. It's biggest group on Facebook anyway. There were a lot of different. I don't know. Just it was like a dictatorship, and I thought, you know, someone else had mentioned it to me, and they went, "You should set one up." And I went, "Well, yeah, I'll set it up." You know what I mean? And then just it's there for, you know. Like I said, I don't really get involved in it, but it's there for if people want to comment and leave stuff.
Yeah.
And
what I like about the groups that have been created, they've all got their own little niche. So there's like Tyler's community, which is like trade only, very supportive, all help each other out. Then you've got Tile Gurus, which is like the best of the best Tylers pushing each other to be better. And I think is yours open to everyone?
It's just open, just try keep Tylers on it if you can, really. But
so yours is like, I would tell me if I'm wrong, but yours seems like a bit more fun. Yours is for like a bit of fun and a bit of information, but there's quite a lot from all over the world on yours, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a world group, so there's world obviously people from throughout the world. So yeah, it's I think it kind of gets bypassed a lot of the time because it's not as popular. It's not real popular.
It's fairly popular.
Well, yeah, it's not.
A few thousand members.
Yeah. It's got a few thousand, I think. Two or so, 3. I don't know. On the
over
Facebook.
3,000 members.
Has it? Right. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does all right, but you don't really. I don't know. You don't get much discussions on it sometimes, so it is
Less
what it is. It's
engagement.
there anyway. Yeah. Not
But the group,
like the
Facebook group. I think it's all right. I think you're doing it a disservice. It might not be the most engagement from, but it does all right. There's like people talking on there.
No. Obviously, I created
If you
other
get
pages.
any engagement on a Facebook group, that's good. If you get like 1% engagement, that's considered fucking good.
Is it right?
Anyway, that aside, I think your Instagram and TikTokers where it's at anyway.
Yeah,
you've got some pretty. I think from everyone I know, you might have had the most viral posts, and I know a lot of good fucking well followed people on those two platforms.
Yeah, the obviously from the Facebook page, I then created obviously an Instagram page, and then obviously from the Instagram page, I thought, well, I might as well create a TikTok page, and it's pretty much the same content. So obviously, it just when it first started, it was like you wait for people to kind of send you images and stuff, and it really all kicked off when it was COVID times, as daft as it sounds. My wife, we were off work for a bit because she got COVID, so I was looking after kids, and I found the app for the reposting. So, and then that's when things had took over because I was able to repost. I didn't need people to send me all the pictures and things like that. I could then repost. So that's when it took off, and it might have been a week. I think it was just over a week. We were off at home, and obviously out looking after kids as well as just really. I kind of it just ballooned, straight away really, because you had the time to give it. Because there's nothing else. Not else to do, just watching a bit of TV. Well,
I was going to say, why'd you do it? But you just explained you have fuck all else to do.
I didn't do it off my own. I did it more to try and change. When I first set up the group and the Instagram group, I mainly set it up to widen people's information about tiling. Because I've been on sites before where you're trying to explain to the builder, listen, we need crack mat. Well, why does this need crack mat? You're trying to explain to them, and they're so adamant, no, I don't think it needs it. And it's like, listen, I'm the tiler, I know what it needs. Well, why does it need this? And I thought, if there's the information out there and they can readily see it, it won't just, it was more for general public as well to see different things. So then not all customers get a shock.
Yeah,
educational more than anything, because not all customers are going to get a shock when the tiler goes to them, oh, this needs overboarding. Oh, well, can't we use plywood? No, because we don't tile and supply anymore.
Yeah, I would say that's working to some extent, mate. That's definitely working.
I think it does take a lot of less explaining to the general public nowadays.
Yeah, and it's because of social media again.
Yeah. The only people which might need explaining to are the people who are on social media.
Yeah.
You still get the customers these days. Say for instance, you're on a job and you need you use a level system because the tiles are rectified edge, so they're over a certain size, and you're using a level system, say, and they're like, oh, look at these fancy things, and they're like, and they've not seen it, but they've been out 10 years or so now, but they've not seen it because they're not on social media as such.
Well, they probably haven't had a bathroom or kitchen for 10 years.
Yeah, true.
So it's like that, 6 to 10 years. You don't have a new bathroom every fucking year, do you? So they'll definitely won't be up with all anything that's come out since then.
Yeah. Well, I remember it was a good few years ago. Everyone were on level clips. They've been out a couple of years, and then like all the rage, and then it's just kind of standard now. You see them and you don't think anything about it.
loads of people use leveling clips for me, for an example, because of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'll speak to people, and there's different types of people. There's like really open-minded people who'll try anything because it looks cool.
Yeah.
All the way down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the reason I know you. But all the way down to people who will never touch it ever because it's different. So, and then you get everyone in between. But everybody, all those people in between, when I speak to them, they give me they always use clips as an example, because they'll say, look at clips, because they didn't adopt them at first because they weren't the ones who adopt everything and try everything, but they're always a little bit open-minded, so that they're the kind of people I'm speaking to now who are just picking up my stuff.
Yeah.
And they always mention to me, this is like clips, because at first everyone said they were useless and you don't need them, but now it's like everybody uses them.
It's funny that, because I remember seeing a couple of samples in that bathroom shop where they were doing subcontracting stuff, and he had about 4 in a little bag, in a little white bag, and he went, "Oh look, these are for my key house level." And I looked at them, and they were the Lash ones. Do you remember the Lash ones? The like first ones would come out, which were like an anchor really, which were, they did the job, but they were that hard to press down, and they were all going for them, were they? I don't think they're Clash ones. And if you did a flaw in them, your hands were sore. And I was like, mate, they're not going to be good then. And I was saying, same as everyone says, they'll be pushing it off adhesive and this and other. And I remembered I did a rectified heads kitchen floor, and I used that system. And I tell you what, the finish you get, it was a good finish, so they do make a difference. They have got a place in market.
Yeah. But I did a whole podcast about people, when you see new things, they might not work, but they might work. Somebody thinks they'll work because somebody's fucking gone out of the way to make them.
It's like...
Just try them out.
Yeah, it's like anything. I think, when you see something new, I'm always interested, mate. I remember when Montelet come big over here about 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I was looking at it, I'm going to have to get one of these. It looked beauty. Do you know what I mean? And you saw Giuseppe's demonstrations, and the way he demonstrates, anything's very good. But like, you're looking at the cut and going, wow, look at that. And the gauge bar flips up, and you can just keep it set. And you're like, oh, look at oil. And you're like squirting oil. Like, oh man, these are mint, these. So then when they come round, I think I bought my first Montelet from NNC. Yeah, there's an NNC in Leeds, and I got it from there. And at the time, the tile cutter had broken of mine, so I had to buy a new one anyway. So I ended up getting a 900 size. I think it was my first one, my first Montelet. So, but yeah, I like saying new things on market. Like, I'm gonna have to try that. And then it was same with when you saw the back tile and things like that. Like, look at that vibrating thing. It's beautiful. You're going to get a good bed. And then it worked the same with Gabos. You're like, look at that.
Yeah.
So then they're like, everyone's got one now. The kind of...
Yeah. If it makes your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes things, improves on the quality of things.
Yeah. And it's, as Daphne was talking about things like that, it was the same way with Perflex as well. Like, look at this. I'm going to have to give that a go. Do you know what I mean? And then it was just waiting for the right project to give it a try. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I had a long 12 months of people.
Yeah,
I think at first, I'd say the first few months, a very high percentage of people said, no, you can't, that's never going to work. And then after 6 months, I would say it was 50-50.
Yeah.
But then once it's 50-50, you've won.
Yeah.
Because the people that do use it, they're going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So if it was shit, they would have said so.
Oh yeah, the son got found out.
Yeah, you're always going, once it's 50-50, you're always going to win as long as your product's good. Because the people that use it, people that don't use it will say, oh, it's shit, but you haven't used it yet, mate. So don't really care what your opinion is. But then the majority of people that use it start giving it good reviews, and it just grows itself. Then that's it. It snowballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you specialize in anything? I've seen you do all sorts. Do you?
That's the thing. I do anything. I've done from the large format stuff, and Yeah, I've not done loads of large format stuff, but I have done it.
Yeah.
I think it's an headache, and you've got to be set up for it. You've really got to be set up for it. I mean, I do have a flashlight, and I do have the big frame. The one thing I don't have the big table. What you need for it, So I did do a job over at Harrogate, and it were logistics of it were a bit of a nightmare. So where we were getting into this bathroom, it were kind of good and it were bad because we had to go up these steps which were outside of the house, which went upstairs, but then there were like a part of this roof which you could work on. So we just had like, the sawhorse set up and some piece of ply on it or whatever. And I'd said to him, I went, we could do with some like big sheets of Kingspan and things like that, really. But the sawhorses I had were just the plastic cheapy ones. So we were all right. We had the tiles, the comb. The customer helped us get them up, and the other lad who were working for me at the time, he would help and get them up. I've only got little arms, mate, so I struggled, lifting it up and stuff. You need the manpower. So we actually broke one of the large format tiles, getting it up. When it was me and the lad who were working for me, the customer were all right. He had bigger arms than me, and he were paying obviously for the big sheets and stuff, so he wouldn't want to break one. But we got it up, and I was like, "Oh, I can't move anymore, so we need to slid it across on the sawhorse things." And they just, they leant over and collapsed. Tile had broke. We managed to use part of that tile, but he had to order another tile.
Bloody hell.
But
not cheap either, are they?
No, they're not. But I was doing the job for the guy pretty much on a day anyway, so he won't like I'd give him a big bill or anything like that. So the understanding was, I said I'm going to take responsibility if things, especially because I didn't, I obviously I had the big lifter. They're £1,000.
Yeah.
The table, them large format tables, £600 or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely, if you want to do that, it's specialist.
It's specialist. Yeah, and if you
do that all the time.
If you wanted to do it all the time, it'd be an headache.
Yeah.
But then you look at different things now, and this is where Instagram's good, where you're watching other people's videos, and they're not even using the lifters. They might use one lifter arm on its own. So it's got suckers on it, and they're using it. But on a lot of the videos you're watching, and it's not just two men, there's 3 or 4 of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the biggest ball ache with them, innit? Getting it into the properties that want them.
Yeah. You just need to.
They're not all big mansions, are they? So you get normal size house who want those gigantic tiles. That's the biggest part of the problem. How do you get them in there?
Yeah. Just to be fair, they were a job not far from me, and it were going to be a nice job, but it were for a time I couldn't do it. It were going to be like April. They wanted me, and I'm like, I don't have time in April. And there were going to be 2 of these big, large formats, and it was going to be a nice bathroom actually. It'd have been a nice job to do, but I'm too busy. I can't do it. So
yeah. But I've seen you do everything. What do you literally just take what comes, or put your hand to it if you've not done it before, or do you choose certain things?
Well, with my background, like I'm quite got a good knowledge, I'd say. So so I've done marble, I've done I've done a lot of stone. There's tilers which I speak to obviously on Instagram and things, or local area, and I know there's one and it says, I've never done any stone. I'm thinking, all right. It's just second nature, really. I don't.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be scared of. It's not nothing I don't know. The one like the last thing which was unknown was doing the large formats. And I've done a few of them now, on different jobs. So, but it's I know when I'd messaged another Tyler about him, he'd said They were a nightmare, and I don't think the other Tyler were going to do them again. So
yeah, I've heard that before as well. I speak to people who only do them.
Yeah.
But I've spoke to people who've done them and they're like, I'm not fucking doing that again.
It's, you know what it is? It's a lot of stress with them. It's a lot of stress. And you think, I don't know what you think, but you must be thinking, as you said, you could go, well, I've got no tiles on wall today. I've just been marking out and cutting and, you know, because it takes time and you're going to have to measure it 2 and 3 times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It do take time. So, it's...
have you got an apprentice?
No, I've had
Are you going to get one?
I've had them in past. I've had them in past, mate. I was, not at the moment, mate. It's...
Why not? We've just been talking about how there's not enough apprenticeships available for people. You should get one.
I've had them. I've had this moment in time.
Don't give me this. No. Loads of people say to me, "Oh yeah, the younger." I used to listen and say yeah, and like sympathise with them a little bit, but I'm losing that sympathy now because it's not the younger generation. Because they're not all fucking bad. They're just young lads who piss about like we were.
But I mean, right. So last lad who worked for me, it were, when did he go? I can't even think. That might have been September time. So I went on a job which, the biggest job we'd done, and he went all right. He started off all right. This is how they started off all right. I didn't really. He'd actually messaged me before, so I went, and it come to a time where I'd started back doing this work for these developers because I've come back to do some work for these, because that was another story. They'd got rid of me doing stuff for them, and the lad who worked with me at the time, they'd asked him. Well, that's another story. So let's talk about this lad. So I needed, there were 1,200 by 1,200 tiles. I was struggling on my own. And I'd seen it come up on my Instagram, and it messaged me, "Oh, is you looking for any lads?" And I went, "Actually, if you're free and you want to come and work, you want to come and do some work this weekend, we'll see how you go on." And he could, and he come and helped us. And he went all right at first, and I thought, he's quiet, he seems all right. And they are like that at first. And then it was just his attitude. It was just poor. And I think I had my mate Steve who was working with me, and then I had another lad who was working with me, and I don't know if how much you put this. He'd kind of gone under this other lad's wing in a sense, but the other lad won't. Yeah. He was a bit younger with this other lad, so he kind of got a bit of attitude off him. So they were like helping him for me on these jobs. And I said to him, I said to the lad, and I went, I'm gonna have to let him go from what he did at the weekend because he wasn't good enough. I said, I've had property developer on phone talking about his attitude, and I says the work's not acceptable. So anyway, I spoke to him, so let him go. And he was a bit delusional, this lad. He went, "Oh, well, let me know if there's how else." And I'm thinking, you don't know what's going on here, mate. You know, meant to be a tile, and he's like 24-year-old or whatever. And he's thinking that I've still got work for him. I'm thinking, no, I work for you, mate, not after what you've done. And I'd already give him a chance to start with. Yeah. So he was meant to be doing this job for me in Wakefield, him and his dad. And he rings up on the Monday morning going, "My dad don't fancy it now, so I'm not going to be able to do it." And I'm thinking, what are you on about? And he went, "But let me know if there's how else you want." And I'm thinking, you just let me down. And it's like, brain dead out there. And he's meant to be.
That's just a bad attitude. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, he's meant to be a proper tiler, is this lad. So the apprentice had worked with him for a bit, and he must have rubbed off on him. So anyway, come to this Monday morning, I went, "Listen, I've sacked him off." I said, you need to now concentrate, mate. You need to concentrate. I'm going to give you another chance. But I says, we can't be having no more episodes. Because I'd come in, and I'd seen it be sat down on his phone. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" Because in this room where we'd been tiling, were like a big bench thing which were like for a seating area at some point.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you might as well start loading these out. So you're loading these tiles out. And I looked across and I went, there were a 900 by 600, so there were like 3 tiles a box. You just put them on the shoulder and carry him in, generally. And I seen him and he was carrying one in. It looked like he was carrying him in fast. And I went, what are you doing? He went, I'm fetching these in. I went, well, you can carry more than one at a time. So I'm his gaffer, aren't I? And I'm like, I'm always trying to be right with people. And I mess about a bit sometimes. So then they think I'm a bit of a, about like the pal kind of thing. And I said, come on, mate. I said, carry one in, sign here. So come on, mate. Fetch more than one in. Fetch 2 in. But bearing in mind, you're having to open up and fetch him in.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was, I think I'd got a couple of boxes on the shoulder and carried them in. No one at a time. And he's still fetching him in one at a time. And I'm like, Brendan, as a soldier says, fetch more than one at a time. I don't want to kill myself. Well, you're not going to, do you know what I mean? I'll kill him. I heartbreak my back horse. And I went, what? So you're not even trying, So I spoke to you yesterday morning about this, about putting effort in and working hard, and then, then it's going to go on to, what's the point? I'm not learning out like this. I said, get him loaded out, and then you can build through with me and him. Learning.
That's part of the learning, mate.
Exactly. We've all been there, and that's a load out. Yeah. We get him loaded out, and then you can be on here with us. Anyway. I said, listen, if you don't like it, I says, fuck off. Right. Well, fuck off.
It's the worst thing you can say to someone with an attitude, because they will.
Yeah, so he went, grab this tool bag. Grabbed his bag with a couple of bits in it.
I'm always off, like, I say this to a lot of lads, like, why didn't you get an apprentice? That, like, it's a shame that I speak to these good blokes and they say, no, I can't get an apprentice because they're no good, they're never any good. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of the times they won't be. But I'm definitely softer than you lot, definitely. And you can tell I don't do what you do. But I'm like, there'll be some good lads out there who will really appreciate it. You're probably going to have to go through a load of tossers first.
Well,
or get lucky.
It's hard. I mean,
I know.
Obviously I'm doing that. It's not just my eyes on this. Steve who works with me, he's like...
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not saying...
He's like, okay, I'll pay him that. I'm paying 20 quid a day. I say I might pay him 20 quid a day to load out and get you buckets of water, but they were obviously getting paid more than that. Do you know what I mean? But he was just saying, from his point of view, you're paying them what you're paying them. And they're not worth it. And then, hard, this is the other thing on site. People going, fucking hell, he's only earning that. I went, he's only earning that. I said, I'm making any money on him. I'm just charging the builders what. I'm going to pick him up in the morning and drop him off. I never had that when I was a lad.
Yeah.
I would get in the bus. So what happened was, this lad was actually my mate's brother. So the lad, my mate, they've both got the same brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So my mate had then offered him a job working for where he was working. So he's like, they then took him on.
Yeah.
It didn't last 2 months there either.
No.
And the thing about it is, I'd spoke to my mate about it, and he knew what the crack was. So he got given a second chance. And he couldn't do it.
But that specific example, he might not have deserved it, but
maybe
I'm talking about the generalisation.
To be fair, Shane, I didn't sack him. He walked off. He could have come back.
Yeah, he was never going to do it, was he? That example.
He could have come back.
I'm talking about the generalisation, because I used to get it. The generation in front of me would say about when there was like loads of apprentices where I was on the shop floor. They would always say like, "Oh, your generation are fucking useless." Same as we do now about the younger lads and us.
Yeah,
and I bet they got it as well.
Yeah,
and it's like, maybe we did have an easier life, and maybe the young uns now have definitely got an easier life than a lot of what we had. I think it's easy.
I think a lot of it. So they don't want to get on the bus to get to anywhere.
They might. My point is they've never had to, and their whole life This isn't their fault, right? They've grown up in a better society where everything's a little bit easier, and they haven't had to work quite as hard. And there's an argument whether we should have made them. And I don't mean us, me and you. I mean like society in general. To say like, why are we making it so easy? It should be more difficult. So when they're 17, 18, they're not going fucking moan about carrying a tile up some stairs or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's actually not their fault.
It wasn't even up any stairs. It was on ground level.
Well, yeah, whatever. You were definitely moaning about this. But a lot of the time they'll just be tossers, and the parents won't have brought them up right and all that. But the generation they've grown up in, and it does always seem like they're on the phone.
Yeah,
because they are. They've grown up with the phone. It's hard for them. They're completely addicted to it. I bet me and you are addicted to the phones a little bit. Imagine how bad they are. They've never known any different.
The thing is, obviously I check my phone, but the different things with the Instagram and the TikTok and things like that, and it's they see you on the phone and they think they can go on the phone even though they've got a job to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is where they need to be learned. Yeah, they have to be learned. So listen, you can use your phone because it might actually help them at some stage to be on social media. But for now, you don't. You're learning the fucking basics.
Yeah,
and if after a while they still can't get it, unfortunately,
the phone should be.
Have to go.
When they're in the van or if they're not in the break. Yeah, go on your phone then. Not when your back's turned and you go. Yeah. I'd be a millionaire if I got it.
They're addicted to it. They remember.
Phone. Yeah,
they're absolutely addicted to it. We are a little bit, but they've literally probably since they were a baby had one.
Yeah.
And actually, there's an argument. It's important for them. It's important to young kids to have things like that. But then, if he wants to be a tiler, you're gonna have to put your phone away. You're gonna have to fucking learn.
You can't be tiling with your phone in your hand, can you?
No. In 10 years, when you're the best fucking tiler in the country and you're making social media posts, good for you. Get your phone out, make some videos, edit the videos at home. But now you're learning the absolute basics, which includes carrying shit and doing simple stuff that you might think is a bit stupid, but it's the basics.
Yeah.
And if they don't get that after a while, I don't know. I don't know if you can help them then.
Yeah, well,
but you should definitely cut them some slack.
Well, to be fair, I did do it. Obviously, he went. There were a lad who I had before him. He was a little bit older, and I was probably paying him too much at the time because it would another scenario. I was picking him up and dropping him off. I had enough work to cover mine and his wages and things, but it was just same again. They don't realise when you're going to pick them up and then drop them off. It might be 20 minutes down the road from where you live, but that 20 minutes, it all adds up. Do you know what I mean? You're out at house early to
but they don't know. This is what I'm saying.
To go back on yourself.
So you had to do papers, and we had to walk, get the bus and stuff. They've probably never had to do it, and I get it. They need to learn, and they need to be told. But when you were a young lad, and you're old, like my old man would say, "Fucking hell, my mum used to beat me up," or I don't know, or I had no shoes, and that stupid shit like that. We had sugar sandwiches, and it was tougher for them. And their parents would fucking say, "We had fucking rations."
Yeah,
them were the days, but they were they were shit days. It was fucking horrific. So you telling that lad, and I'm not saying you telling. I'm just saying you, as in we.
Yeah,
telling a young'un, I used to walk and get the bus. He'd be like, well, he can't relate at all. He's never had to do it.
Yeah, never got. So
you have to cut him a little bit of slack. He's got a totally different attitude, and it might be a bad attitude, and hopefully you can knock it out of him. I think after so many chances, if he still doesn't, then fuck him off.
To take on an apprentice now. I mean, to be fair, I've never really had one which is local enough to me. So
you should always take one, mate.
You'd always
do an advert now.
Traveling. No,
Matthew Taylor Tile in Leeds is advertising for an apprentice. You should have one. It's a shame when all these you're a nice bloke. You'd be a good teacher, and it's a shame when I speak to loads of people who don't want one.
You know what it is? Have one. I've got quite a bit of patience, but I think down over the years, your patience starts wearing thin and stuff. No, it does. It does.
You turn into an old man.
You know what? My nephew with COVID and that, he was that year where they didn't have to sit an exam. So he was 15, 16. COVID come, he was ideal. He come in, did loads of work with me, and he was the one who's going in the RAF. And what he should have done is, when he went to college, he should have picked Tyler, because he'd already done loads with me. He'd already done loads with me, and he was doing all right. But then that was saying he got too cheeky, and even if his family's, if they don't toe the line, they're down road, mate.
I don't think the RAF will stand for it anyway, if that's what he's going to do.
No.
That'll whip him into shape, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I know I'm soft. I'm too soft. I know I am. But I think it's a shame when good blokes don't have an apprentice, because you once you retire, that's it. You've not passed it on to anyone. And there will be good lads out there who can't find work, who deserve it.
The first lad who ever come and helped me for a while were called Ben. I think he still might be. I was at a stage where I wasn't as well established, so he was coming and helping me for quite a while. And then he got to the stage where I think he was on his last year, and then he'd passed his driving test, and he bought a car, and then all of a sudden, he actually probably needed more money. So he wanted like a wage rise from me, but he wasn't my employee or anything. I was just paying him cash or whatever he wanted a day, I was paying him. And it might have been 30 quid a day at time, and then he might have wanted 50 quid, which wouldn't have been a massive ordeal nowadays. But at the time, my wages weren't as much as what they are now. So then you're like, and I said to him, I went, I have been funny about it. I can't afford to put your wages up.
Yeah.
I said, but if you stick with me for a year or so, I says, that money, you will get that money in time.
Yeah.
But he could not afford to not.
Yeah.
So
their brains won't let them look into the future like that.
No. He ended up actually go to work do something with bricks or groundworks or what have you. But I think he then come back in. I think he were working. Last I heard, he were working for another tiler in Leeds. So I don't. He still might be. He might not be.
This is where
I aren't sure.
The government needs to. So obviously, I want good blokes to have apprentices, because there's plenty of lads out there who need the work and need to be taught, and they might have a bad attitude at first, but the government needs to get involved, because everything that you've just said, everything I've just said to you, I'm asking you to take all the risk to pay someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Might have a bad attitude for a year before you whip him into shape. The government needs to get involved and invest. And I was talking to somebody else the other day about manufacturing and why it's going down the pan, and there's an argument, and it's a good argument. It's cheaper to manufacture in other countries and things like that, but a lot of the reason is because we never fucking invested in like modern equipment and training and things like that, because the companies were greedy and it just went away. So the government needs to get involved and support trainees.
I've had this conversation with a few tradespeople in last few years or weeks, and I said, in years to come, and I think Steve, who works with me, even said in 5 or 10 years,
the market, there's no investment.
You're going to be able to name your price because they've got no one coming through.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably ask people to come from other countries.
Well, yeah.
And it's all a vicious fucking circle of bullshit, because we're not investing, and it's the government.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm nearly 38 now. Soon, as daft as it sounds, it's, you soon get up to 40 years, eh? I mean, how time does fly? Time
You're
fly
perfect age now to get an apprentice. You haven't quite lost
the patience.
You're not at the end of your tether, so you're not that miserable yet.
No. We'll see, mate.
I've just advertised one anyway, so they can ring you.
Yeah. Well, they can ring, but
any age, any sex, any religion.
As daft as it sounds, I've had people call me before who've said, "I've done a tanning course. Can I come and do some work with you for a week or so, and I'll pay you?"
They'll pay you?
Yes. This guy said, I think you were from Liverpool, Wales. He went, "I'll pay I've seen you on socials. He says, you know what you're doing. I'll pay you. I'll come and labour on you and I'll pay you. I'm like, well, you might not have to
give him a job straight away.
You might not have to pay me. But I think he'd already had a bit of a background. But, it's...
Do you know what? If he's willing to do that, I'd definitely say come and work for me.
This was a while ago. If I've never had the phone call. So
I wouldn't ask him to pay me. I just think it's a good attitude.
I think what I said to him was, have a look. I said, there must be some good tilers near Liverpool. It says... So yeah, obviously trying to save him the bit of travel, coming across.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's out there, mate.
Yeah.
You can get, if you've got any advice for not necessarily young people, but people in general who want to get into tiling, what do you think they should do?
What would you do? What, instead of going, if you can't get into college and things like that, or
whatever's available? I'm sure that I don't think there is many colleges available. I know there's tiling courses that generally seems to be the route, doesn't it? Like intensive course.
Sometimes with them courses you can get. It depends. I think it's a bit of a luck of a draw, really, whether people actually come out and be good. Because I've seen people which have come out from these courses and they go straight away and they're not so good. And I think, the guy who said who's got the bad reviews near me, I suspect he's done a course. But all I'd say is, if people have done a course, maybe ring up a local tiler who's local to them, who's experienced, and see if they can just tag along for a couple of days just to get the other knowledge, because it's like college. You could go to college and do some tiling, and then first job off the side, I can't imagine what their tiling would look like, straight away in a real life scenario.
Yeah.
So it's
it seems to be the only route, doesn't it? You can do a course. I know there's good ones because I've interviewed Ross and he definitely does a good course, but even he will say that doesn't mean you can be a tiler as soon as you've finished. You need to go and do some learning.
And the thing is that a lot of people go, I can earn this. And it's not about the money. It's about learn your trade first. The money, I've said that to the lads, I said, learn the trade first. The money will come in time and speed will come in time. Do the job right, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
You were on about the Instagram, weren't you? That's what you were mentioning before, and then we kind of lost subject to it, didn't we?
Yeah.
The Instagram and the TikTok, weren't you?
I think we kind of covered it, didn't we?
I don't know. I can't remember now. We've just been out houses a bit, haven't we?
We got cut off on Facebook, and then we covered Instagram and TikTok, I think.
Right.
So. Is there something you wanted to say about it specifically?
No, nothing. Like I say, I mean, obviously it does take time, so I don't. If there's anybody which do send the posts through, I do try repost them as quick as I can. But I do message people, and I do say, if you invite us to collab, the people can do that easy because it's just literally a click of a button. It's a lot quicker to get it through.
That's worth mentioning. So you use your Instagram and TikTok to spread good practice or new
and
products and things like that.
A lot of time it's information and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like
educational stuff.
I don't get any benefit out of it. I don't get any monetary benefits. It's more of a hobby than anything else.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to get hold of you, what are the handles on TikTok and
just drop a private message, get out there really. I mean, what happens is basically whatever. Say you repost on Instagram, the same content will get posted on TikTok. So you actually you get your work will be getting spread on two different platforms. And if we
what
can,
is it though? Tyler's World
Talk page, I think.
Tyler's World Talk page on Instagram. What is it on TikTok? Let's have a look.
It might be just Tyler's World on TikTok. Tyler's World.
Yeah, Tyler's World Talk on Instagram, Tyler's World on TikTok. And Matthew does get quite high numbers, so if you've got something that you want to show to a lot of people, send it to Matthew. He'll sort it for you.
got 100,000 on TikTok, and I think we've got just over 31,000 on Instagram.
Yeah, and it's literally the reason that they exist is to share other people's things and education and things like that. So
that's how we first got contact, actually, wasn't it? I think through the Instagram post that shared.
You did a video that was like doing fucking. You're like, oh look, it's on 100,000, and like, fuck me, it's on 1 million, and then you were like, it got to like millions, 2 million, 3 million, I can't remember, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
I think I said if it gets to 50,000, or let's say I said if it gets to 100,000, I'll send you something. I can't remember, like a freebie or something.
Yeah,
and it blew by, didn't it? It's like fuck.
I think you said if it gets so much, I'll send you the kit. How I think you said.
Yeah.
So I went, yeah, no worries. I went, just whatever.
And
let us know. Yeah.
It went to the millions in the end, I think.
Yeah. So
oh, good mate.
Yeah, so
thank you very much.
When it got to me time for using the Perflex, I called in the favour.
Yeah, did you pay for it in the end? I think you might have.
I might have done, mate. I might have done. Can't be sending too many of them freebies out, can you?
No, I used to give it away. First 6 months, I couldn't give it away. People didn't want it.
Yeah,
that's mad, isn't it? Now,
now
I'm constantly out of stock.
You know the funny thing is, I'd seen a TikTok today of Tiernan McCockrell's, the guy who does Pipe Easy.
Yeah.
And it was his audition on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
So I'd seen that today, and I think he'd struggled with that. Obviously, I've got quite a few not contacts, but I speak to a lot of people. Well, like I speak to you, and then I spoke to him. Because then he'd asked me to do some posts on the Pipe Easy, and I went, yeah, just send it out, I'll do it. On my own personal Instagram account. So obviously I did a video for him and shared it. We're over Moon. He'd messaged a lady, Tyler, on Instagram over in the States, and I think she wanted some probably maybe
yeah,
and it won't like 30 quid, 40 quid.
No.
It was something like $800. You know what I mean? And staff does that.
Everyone who's ever done anything for me on social media has done it for free. I've never paid anyone a penny. I've probably given away T-shirts and caps or a toolkit or whatever, but I've never paid anyone a penny. I've asked people who are no charge before, and they either ignore you or they've got they charge quite a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I haven't got it.
I mean, I've never
got that kind of money.
Like I say, I've got some good numbers on there. I've never made a penny on the Instagram. The TikTok, you can have a creators fund, so that's totally separate. If any sort of money goes in there, it goes to a side pot kind of thing. Do you know? But that's I don't even know where that money comes from. I don't know where TikTok are getting that money from.
Adverts, what do you think? Or selling data?
Well, yeah.
That's why they make it so addictive.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I've always said to anyone, if you can figure out a way to make money out of social media, do it.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate way of making money.
I didn't set up any of them pages on the basis of making money. I set them up purely on the basis of broadening the knowledge of Tyler. Because you think that page does even better and gets to 1 million. People start seeing more Tylers and Tylers. Oh, look at this Tyler. They're going to know. Look at this tiling. They're going to know they're going to go, bloody hell, tiling's expensive. So, when people go quote, the other Tylers got quote for jobs, they can probably start charging more because it's like a fashion, isn't it?
It's not even charging more, is it? It's not cutting any corners because the customer's expecting to see.
No, but they'll be expecting to pay as well. That's the thing.
Because you're going to say to them, oh, it needs this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And they're expecting it now. Whereas before, you could go to them and say, it needs this, that, and the other, and they say, really? And you say, well, I can not include that thing, that bit of prep.
Or crack mine or something like that.
That'll knock 200 quid off. But then it's like,
you're
lowering your standards.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good what you're doing. It's exactly what you say. It's good. It's educating people and keeping the standards, improving standards. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, like I say, it's just trying to keep on top of it. Really, it does take a bit of time. So
yeah, it does, mate. You should just leave it sometimes. I this podcast, and it can stress you out. I was getting stressed out trying to do a podcast a week, and do you know what? In the end, I thought, do you know what? I'll just speak to people when I can speak to someone who's interesting. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up fucking stressed out constantly with something that doesn't pay. And I'm trying to do social media and all that shit, and it's like, I'll just do it when it's worth speaking to someone.
Yeah, well, it took us a while to get this done, like I made, but
it's the same with everyone, mate. There's a lot of chasing and a lot of setting up and sorting out microphones and messaging, and like the technical stuff behind it isn't like editing it after it. It's all time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just going to chill out with it a bit now and stop stressing myself to get one a week out, and just when I've got one, I've got one, and that's it.
The thing is, sometimes less is more, as daft as it sounds, because then people will be waiting for it. You know, like you watch an episode of a program, you're like, oh, I can't wait for next week's episode, and things like that. So it might go like that, you know.
I hope so.
Yeah,
better than binging 20 all at once.
Well, I did say to you, you could do some of the chats online. Do you know what I mean? Like on your phone, because then you got a few people to engage with and see it. I know people won't see us, will they?
Well, no. The whole point of it is is to speak to people who are generally on social media anyway. People might know them, but only from social media. So this podcast is basically giving that person an opportunity to speak, tell their story, or talk about whatever they talk about on social media. So then people get to know them a little bit more.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point of it, really. And that's one of the reasons I probably won't do video.
Yeah, did you see that last post I did on my own Instagram?
I don't know.
Did you not? Well, have a look for it, because I've got that reface app, so it's like my face on Sam Smith's body, kind of thing.
I don't want to see that, mate.
It's quite funny, actually.
Why do I want to see that?
It's funny. It's funny.
We're all done, mate. Thank you very much.
No.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, speak to you later.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.